Don't scroll. Listen carefully. This message is for you. Your heart needs to hear this right now. My child, your phone vibrates unexpectedly, breaking the quiet rhythm of an ordinary morning. A single notification appears across the screen with unusual urgency. A digital gift has been delivered. Please open it before it expires. For a brief moment, everything else seems to fade into the background. There is no company name attached to the notification, no advertisement, and no explanation of where it came from. Only those simple words remain glowing against the screen, quietly inviting your attention. Curiosity replaces distraction as you gently unlock the phone. Instead of revealing an ordinary file or picture, the message opens to a beautifully designed page with soft colors and a handwritten heading that immediately captures your attention. Some gifts cannot be wrapped. They can only be felt. Beneath that title rests the first page of what appears to be a carefully prepared collection of thoughts. There are no impossible promises, no dramatic predictions, only heartfelt words that seem to carry unusual sincerity. The opening sentence reads, "If you are reading this, then perhaps today is the perfect day to remember how powerful ordinary kindness truly is." Those words immediately slow your racing thoughts. They feel different from the endless stream of notifications that usually compete for attention every day. Instead of asking you to hurry, they quietly invite you to pause. As you continue reading, the message begins recalling simple moments that often disappear unnoticed. It speaks about a stranger who smiled at someone having a difficult morning, a teacher who patiently stayed after class to encourage a student, a neighbor who quietly helped carry heavy groceries without expecting thanks, and a friend who listened without interrupting when someone needed understanding more than advice. None of these moments appear extraordinary on their own, yet together they reveal a truth that quietly settles into the heart. Life is often transformed not by spectacular events but by consistent compassion expressed through ordinary actions. The next page appears automatically. It describes a peaceful morning in a small town where the bakery opens before sunrise, filling the streets with the comforting aroma of fresh bread. The owner greets every customer warmly, remembering names, favorite orders, and asking sincere questions about their families. Across the street, a crossing guard patiently welcomes every child walking toward school, making each one feel important before the day has even begun. A gardener waters flowers planted beside a public path simply because strangers deserve to enjoy beauty during their morning walk. A delivery driver pauses to help someone whose shopping bags have fallen onto the pavement, smiling before quietly continuing their route. Reading these scenes, you begin noticing something remarkable. None of these people are trying to become famous. None expect applause. Yet each one leaves the world a little brighter than they found it. The digital gift continues by asking a quiet question without demanding an answer. When was the last time you remembered someone simply because they were kind? That single sentence lingers in your thoughts far longer than expected. Memories begin surfacing naturally. You remember someone who patiently encouraged another person after failure instead of criticizing them. You remember a conversation that restored hope during a difficult season, a simple thank you offered to someone whose work usually went unnoticed, and moments when calm understanding replaced unnecessary arguments. Those memories feel more valuable than expensive possessions because they remind you how deeply kindness can remain within the heart. Another page slowly fades into view. This time it tells the story of a small community garden cared for entirely by volunteers. Every weekend, people of different ages arrive carrying gloves, watering cans, and simple gardening tools. Some plant vegetables that will later be shared with local families. Others remove weeds, repair fences, or water flowers growing along public walkways. Curious visitors often ask why they devote so much time to work that receives little recognition. One volunteer smiles gently before replying, "Someone we may never meet will enjoy what we plant today." That is reason enough. Those simple words quietly transform the meaning of generosity. They reveal that the greatest gifts are often given without expecting recognition in return. As you continue reading, another reflection appears. It speaks about how modern life often teaches people to chase bigger achievements while overlooking the beauty of everyday faithfulness. It reminds the reader that trust is built through countless small promises kept, friendships grow through consistent care, and lasting influence is created through honesty, patience, humility, forgiveness, and compassion practiced one ordinary day at a time. The digital gift never raises its voice. It simply continues offering gentle reminders that meaningful lives are shaped through repeated choices rather than dramatic moments. Hours seem to disappear as every page quietly builds upon the last. Looking outside the window, you notice ordinary life continuing exactly as before. Children laugh while walking home from school. A cyclist waits patiently for pedestrians to cross. An elderly neighbor waves cheerfully to everyone passing by. The world itself has not changed, yet something inside your perspective has. You begin paying closer attention to the quiet goodness that has always surrounded you. Returning your attention to the phone, another page appears carrying only a short paragraph. The most valuable gift anyone can receive is the reminder that kindness never becomes wasted. Every encouraging word, every honest conversation, every forgiving heart, and every patient act leaves a mark that often lasts far longer than the moment itself. Those words remain on the screen while the digital clock changes to 11:11. Earlier in the day, receipt number 222 had appeared during a purchase, and while walking home, building number 444 quietly caught your attention. Many people enjoy treating repeating numbers like these as gentle reminders to pause and reflect. Rather than searching for certainty, they become peaceful invitations to ask meaningful questions. Have enough gratitude been spoken today? Have the people whose quiet goodness strengthens everyday life been appreciated? Has kindness been chosen even when no one was watching? Those reflections settle gently into the heart as the final page of this first chapter appears. At the very bottom, beneath a simple line separating the text, one final handwritten sentence waits quietly for the next part of the journey. The next page contains the one message that changed everything, because sometimes the greatest gift is not what arrives on a screen, but what awakens inside the heart after reading it. Don't scroll. Listen carefully. This message is for you. Your heart needs to hear this right now. My child, as the next page of the digital gift slowly appears on the screen, everything else around you seems to fade into the background. The world outside continues moving at its usual pace, yet your attention remains fixed on the words unfolding before your eyes. At the top of the page, a simple sentence appears. The greatest gifts are never measured by what they cost, but by what they awaken inside the heart. You pause for a moment before reading further, sensing that every sentence has been carefully written with purpose. The page begins by describing an ordinary morning that quietly became unforgettable. A cafe opens before sunrise, filling the street with the comforting aroma of fresh bread and warm coffee. The owner welcomes every customer with genuine warmth, remembering names instead of order numbers. Across the road, a crossing guard patiently greets each child on the way to school, offering encouragement before the day has even begun. Nearby, an elderly gardener waters flowers planted beside a public walkway, smiling softly as strangers stop to admire the colorful blooms. None of these people realize they are becoming part of someone else's most treasured memories. Yet their quiet kindness leaves an impression that lasts far beyond the moment itself. The message continues by asking another gentle question: what if the people who quietly brighten your life never truly know how much they matter? Those words linger in your mind. Memories begin surfacing naturally. You remember someone who patiently listened while another person struggled through difficult emotions. You remember a teacher who believed in potential long before success became visible. You remember a neighbor who offered help without waiting to be asked, a friend who stayed beside someone during uncertain times, and a stranger whose unexpected kindness restored hope on an otherwise ordinary day. Every memory quietly reminds you that life is shaped not only by extraordinary events but by countless small moments of compassion that often go unnoticed. As the page scrolls downward, another story appears. It speaks about a small community library where volunteers gather every weekend to read stories to children. No cameras record the moments, and no applause follows each chapter. Yet every child leaves carrying something more valuable than a borrowed book. They leave feeling encouraged, welcomed, and believed in. The message explains that true influence rarely demands recognition. It grows quietly through patience, consistency, honesty, and kindness repeated day after day. Reading those words changes the way you think about ordinary life. Suddenly the smallest gestures begin carrying greater meaning. A smile offered to someone feeling discouraged. A thank you spoken sincerely. A promise faithfully kept. A conversation where understanding matters more than being right. Each one becomes another reminder that goodness is often strongest when it is given freely. The digital gift reveals another page describing a peaceful afternoon beside a riverside park. Children laugh while chasing one another beneath tall trees. Friends share simple conversations on wooden benches. An elderly musician quietly plays familiar melodies, smiling whenever someone slows down long enough to listen. Nearby, volunteers repaint old park benches so future visitors will have a comfortable place to rest. Curious, someone asks why they spend so much effort repairing something few people will notice. One volunteer smiles and replies, "Because someone tired will sit here tomorrow, and they deserve to know this place was cared for." Those words settle deeply within your heart. They reveal that kindness often reaches people whose names we may never know. The gift continues with another reflection. It explains that many people spend years searching for life-changing moments while overlooking life-changing character. Extraordinary achievements may inspire admiration, but everyday compassion builds trust, restores hope, and strengthens relationships in ways success alone never can. It reminds you that honesty spoken during difficult conversations, forgiveness offered without conditions, patience shown during challenging seasons, and gratitude expressed before regret appears are among the most valuable gifts any person can give. Looking away from the phone for a moment, you notice ordinary life continuing outside the window. A cyclist patiently waits for pedestrians before crossing. Two neighbors laugh together while repairing a broken fence. A shopkeeper helps an elderly customer carry purchases to the car. None of these moments seem dramatic, yet each quietly proves that goodness continues surrounding everyday life. Returning your attention to the screen, another sentence appears. Every act of kindness becomes part of someone else's story, even if you never learn how deeply it mattered. Those words remain on the screen while the digital clock changes to 11:11. Earlier in the day, receipt number 222 had quietly appeared after a purchase, and while walking through town, building number 444 caught your attention once again. Many people enjoy treating repeating numbers like these as gentle reminders to pause and reflect. Instead of searching for hidden meanings, you allow them to inspire simple questions. Have I thanked the people who quietly strengthen my life? Have I spoken words of encouragement while there is still time? Have I become someone whose everyday choices leave others feeling respected, valued, and hopeful? Those reflections bring a quiet sense of peace. Before the screen changes again, one final paragraph slowly fades into view. It explains that the digital gift is not counting down because time is running out on a mysterious message. Instead, it serves as a reminder that opportunities to express gratitude, strengthen relationships, and choose kindness should never be endlessly postponed. Every ordinary day carries moments that may never return in exactly the same way. The greatest gift is recognizing those moments while they are still unfolding. As the page reaches its end, one final handwritten sentence appears beneath a thin golden line, inviting you toward the next chapter. The next page reveals why this gift could never be saved forever, because the most meaningful treasures were never meant to stay hidden, they were meant to be lived every single day. Don't scroll. Listen carefully. This message is for you. Your heart needs to hear this right now. My child, the screen remains illuminated as another page of the digital gift quietly appears, and although only a few moments seem to have passed, something inside your heart already feels different. The words waiting before you are simple, yet they carry a weight that cannot be measured by technology or explained by anything material. At the top of the page, one sentence immediately captures your attention. Some gifts disappear from the screen, but the lessons they awaken remain forever. You pause before reading further, sensing that every line has been leading to this moment. The message begins by describing another ordinary day that quietly transformed into one that would never be forgotten. The streets looked exactly the same as they always had. The bakery opened before sunrise, the familiar smell of fresh bread drifting through the cool morning air. Shopkeepers arranged displays outside their stores with care. A crossing guard greeted every child walking toward school with the same warm smile offered every morning. A bus driver patiently waited a few extra moments for someone running toward the stop instead of pulling away. Nothing extraordinary seemed to happen, yet everything carried a quiet beauty that had previously gone unnoticed. The page continues by asking another thoughtful question. How many beautiful moments have passed unnoticed simply because everyone was waiting for something bigger? Those words remain in your thoughts as memory after memory begins returning. You remember someone who quietly stayed beside a friend during a difficult season instead of searching for impressive words. You remember a neighbor who regularly checked on an elderly resident after storms had passed. You remember a teacher who believed in a struggling student before anyone else saw their potential. You remember a stranger returning a lost wallet with every belonging still inside, expecting nothing except the opportunity to do what was right. Suddenly, each memory feels richer than before because you understand something new. The greatest moments rarely announce themselves while they are happening. They reveal their value only after time allows the heart to understand what was truly received. The next section of the message tells the story of a small community garden maintained by volunteers from every generation. Every Saturday morning they gather before the sun grows warm, carrying simple tools, watering cans, and seeds. Some carefully remove weeds. Others repair broken fences or plant vegetables that will later be shared with local families. Curious visitors occasionally ask why they dedicate so much energy to work that often goes unnoticed. One elderly volunteer smiles and quietly answers, "Because someone we may never meet will benefit from what we plant today." Those few words linger far longer than expected. They reveal that lasting influence is created not by seeking recognition but by faithfully choosing goodness even when no reward is promised. Reading those lines, you begin reflecting on all the people who have quietly planted hope in your own life without ever realizing how deeply they changed you. There were conversations that restored confidence after disappointment, acts of patience that prevented giving up, honest advice offered with compassion instead of judgment, and simple encouragement that arrived at exactly the right moment. Every memory becomes another reminder that kindness has a way of growing far beyond the moment in which it is first given. As the page slowly scrolls, another story unfolds. It speaks of a young musician who carried an old guitar into the town square every Friday afternoon. There were no tickets, no stage lights, and no advertisements. The musician simply played familiar songs because they enjoyed seeing strangers smile for a few minutes before continuing their day. Some people stopped to listen. Others walked past while softly humming the melody long afterward. One elderly woman quietly thanked the musician, explaining that those few songs reminded her of happy memories she had almost forgotten. Reading this, you realize that even the smallest offering of kindness or creativity can become someone else's source of comfort. The digital gift gently continues, reminding you that no one truly knows what another person is carrying inside their heart. A patient conversation may restore hope. A sincere thank you may brighten an exhausting day. A quiet act of generosity may become a memory someone treasures for years. These truths require no extraordinary circumstances. They simply require people willing to notice one another. Looking away from the screen for a moment, you notice life continuing outside the window exactly as it always has. Two neighbors laugh together while planting flowers beside the sidewalk. A parent kneels to tie a child's shoelaces before school. A delivery driver waves warmly to an elderly resident standing at the gate. The world has not changed during the time you have been reading. Your perspective has. Ordinary moments now seem filled with opportunities to leave behind encouragement, honesty, gratitude, forgiveness, humility, and compassion. Returning your attention to the screen, another paragraph appears beneath a soft golden line. It explains that many people spend years collecting possessions while forgetting to collect meaningful moments. Yet when they eventually look back, they rarely remember what they owned. They remember how someone made them feel. They remember patient listeners, faithful friends, generous neighbors, inspiring teachers, loving family members, and strangers whose unexpected kindness restored faith during difficult seasons. Those are the treasures that never lose their value. As the final section of the page begins, the digital clock quietly changes to 11:11. Earlier that afternoon, receipt number 222 appeared after a purchase, and while returning home, building number 444 once again caught your attention. Many people enjoy treating repeating numbers like these as gentle reminders to pause and reflect. They become peaceful invitations to ask meaningful questions instead of searching for certainty. Have enough appreciation been spoken today? Have kindness and patience become daily habits rather than occasional choices? Have the people whose quiet goodness shaped everyday life been thanked while there is still time? Those reflections settle gently into your heart as the final lines of the page slowly appear. The countdown displayed beside the digital gift continues moving, not to create fear, but to remind you that opportunities to encourage others, strengthen relationships, and speak sincere gratitude should never be postponed forever. Every ordinary day offers countless chances to leave another person's heart lighter than before. At the very bottom of the screen, beneath a single handwritten signature, one final sentence appears, inviting you toward the last chapter of the journey. The final page will reveal why this gift was never meant to remain on a screen, because its true purpose begins the moment its message is carried into everyday life. Don't scroll. Listen carefully. This message is for you. Your heart needs to hear this right now. My child, the countdown in the corner of the screen continues moving closer to 0, yet something remarkable has already happened. The urgency is no longer about the timer. It is about the realization quietly growing inside your heart. As the final page of the digital gift slowly appears, a single sentence is written across the top in elegant handwriting. The most valuable gifts are not the ones you keep, they are the ones you live. Those words remain on the screen for several moments before the rest of the page gently unfolds. The message explains that every previous page has been leading toward this final truth. The purpose was never to reveal a hidden mystery or promise extraordinary events. It was to remind you that every ordinary day offers countless opportunities to become a source of encouragement, peace, honesty, patience, gratitude, and hope for someone else. Looking around, you begin noticing how many quiet acts of goodness surround everyday life without demanding attention. A baker wakes before dawn so strangers can begin their morning with warm bread. A bus driver patiently waits for someone running to catch the last stop. A teacher stays after school helping a student who refuses to give up. A neighbor quietly waters another person's garden while they are away. Volunteers gather every weekend to prepare meals for families facing difficult seasons. A mechanic repairs a wheelchair without accepting payment because compassion matters more than profit. A musician fills a public square with gentle melodies simply to brighten someone else's afternoon. None of these people expect applause. They simply continue choosing kindness because they believe every ordinary day deserves a little more light than it had before. The message asks another quiet question: when people remember you years from now, what feeling will remain in their hearts? That single question lingers as memory after memory begins returning. You remember conversations where someone patiently listened without interrupting. You remember unexpected encouragement during moments when confidence had almost disappeared. You remember a sincere apology that healed a broken friendship, a heartfelt thank you that made someone feel seen, and quiet forgiveness that allowed both people to move forward instead of carrying resentment. None of those moments appeared extraordinary while they happened, yet together they became some of the most valuable memories life had given. The page continues by describing a peaceful afternoon beside a community garden where children and elderly volunteers work side by side planting flowers and vegetables. A little girl asks one of the volunteers why they spend so much time caring for plants they may never personally enjoy years from now. The volunteer smiles gently before answering, because hope grows strongest when someone plants something beautiful for another person. Those simple words quietly transform the meaning of generosity. They reveal that every encouraging conversation, every patient response, every act of honesty, and every quiet kindness becomes another seed planted in someone else's future. Some bloom quickly. Others take years. Yet every one carries the possibility of changing another life. Continuing through the final page, another story appears. A small library remains open a little later than usual because a student preparing for important examinations still needs help finding the right books. The librarian never complains about staying longer. Instead, they patiently guide the student through every shelf until the needed resources are found. As the student leaves with gratitude, the librarian quietly smiles, understanding that helping another person learn is reward enough. Nearby, a shopkeeper notices an elderly customer struggling with heavy bags and walks them safely to their car before returning to work. Across the street, two neighbors repaint an old fence together after a storm damaged it, laughing throughout the afternoon as though kindness itself has become a celebration. Reading these moments, you realize that meaningful lives are not measured by how loudly they are noticed but by how deeply they improve the lives of others. The digital gift gently reminds you that no one truly knows which ordinary conversation will become someone else's lasting memory. A few kind words spoken today may remain in another person's heart for decades. A single act of honesty may restore trust where it had almost disappeared. A patient response may prevent someone from giving up during one of life's hardest seasons. Every ordinary choice quietly shapes tomorrow in ways that can never be fully measured. Looking away from the screen, you notice the evening sky glowing softly beyond the window. Children laugh while walking home with their families. Neighbors greet one another before closing their gates for the night. A cyclist pauses so pedestrians can safely cross the road. Everything looks exactly as it did before opening the digital gift, yet everything feels different because your perspective has changed. Returning your attention to the final page, the digital clock quietly changes to 11. 11. Earlier that day, receipt number 222 appeared during an afternoon purchase, and while walking home, building number 444 caught your attention once again. Many people enjoy treating repeating numbers like these as gentle reminders to pause and reflect. They become invitations to ask thoughtful questions instead of searching for certainty. Have enough appreciation been spoken while there is still time? Have forgiveness and kindness become daily habits? Have the people whose quiet goodness brightened ordinary life been reminded that they matter? Those reflections bring unexpected peace because they point toward choices that can be made today rather than waiting for another tomorrow. As the final seconds of the countdown quietly disappear, the message itself begins fading from the screen. Yet before the last words vanish, one final paragraph appears. This gift was never meant to remain inside a phone, a message, or a memory. Its true purpose begins the moment gratitude is spoken, kindness is shared, forgiveness is offered, hope is given freely, and ordinary days are filled with extraordinary compassion. The screen may grow dark, but the choice to brighten another person's life remains yours every single day. The display gently returns to its ordinary home screen, the notification disappears, and the timer reaches 0. Yet nothing truly feels finished. The greatest gift was never the message itself. It was the quiet reminder that every sunrise offers another opportunity to become the reason someone believes the world is still filled with goodness, proving that the most meaningful treasures are not the ones that stay in our hands, but the ones that continue living in the hearts of others through every act of patience, honesty, generosity, gratitude, humility, and love.